Hi friends, I am Joel John and I am going to talk about emergency situations and safety issues and concerns like accidents, mainly accidents in workplace or in our common day-to-day life. And this video is mainly for employers, decision makers, government authorities, senior bureaucrats, and any common man in a society, because the recent two incidents happened or on farming area, like you have bore wells which are not used, which are not sealed properly in many localities, all over the world, because these kinds of incidents have happened on Spain, happened on China, happened on India before a week in Tamil Nadu, and now in another state. I think it's Haryana, or I'm not sure about the state. And both in these two incidents, the child which slipped and fall on the borewell dead, and it has been a reason for a casualty. And not only about borewells, we are also talking about multinational corporates, and we have tuition centers, we have places where people gather in much. Borewells must be sealed properly, or it has to be closed fully. I don't know when they are able to dig, why they are unable to close. Financial constraints are there. Government can provide subsidies for farmers for taking this measure, or government can take an initiative and freely close the borewells which are still open, and that kind of a subsidiary program will avoid future deaths. And the main reason for instead of putting sand and closing the borewell fully, it could be remodified as a rainwater storing hole by sealing its top surface with proper cement rings, and then covering it with a water flowable tap. That is a suggestion I like to give, because there are a lot of roadside pits, rainwater harvesting pits, which the government is establishing, and this kind of establishment could be done on the borewell as well. If you put 2 or 3 rings, after that it will become safe to some extent, but still, if there is a sand collapse or something, there should be a proper monitoring in future as well. And then to talk more about the safety concern, and this could be taken up by the corporates as well. In India, any company which makes a profit is supposed to spend 2% of its profit for the society development, which is called as corporate social responsibility. So in this also, most of the huge corporates, they visit villages for giving them education. On this education, you can add up this kind of safety measures: what to do when a snake bites, what to do when someone falls on a borewell. Why before it falls, you have to take a effort to identify those and close it. If a government official goes, people mainly fear for bribes. And another one thing is like they may take some action. Taking action is legal. Bribes is something which is which no government official should take, but still it's prevailing in the society. So we cannot expect the government to do this. So I thought if we convey it in my social media, because mainly most of the prominent bloggers like Mr. Madan Gauri are speaking on Tamil. Tamil is my mother tongue, so I used to watch Tamil videos in YouTube. So at that time also I thought if the video is in English, other state people will also would have been able to understand, but my video won't have that kind of reach. The only opportunity I have is I have several thousand of friends in LinkedIn who are all at decision making ranks. So I thought I can share this video to you all as a must to watch video for employers, so that you can add this up in your corporate social responsibility and do some life preventive measures. We are already conducting medical camps, education camps. Also add a safety camp in your social corporate responsibility, so that you can have a good outreach and people will be more willing to talk and open to talk with the private body than with government. And also the quality of service I hope will be better in private. And also when I talk about this, I also talk about the emergency requirements for corporates, which also could lead to any time for a great disaster. Wherever huge number of people gather, there should be enough safety measures. It could be a corporate office, it could be a school, it could be a tuition center, or whatsoever it could be. So I also thought in this video itself I can reach you out to the corporate measures which has to be taken. There are a lot of high-rise building where people work. there should be a proper exit plan for that, and all of the director level people will be knowing, and they should conduct emergency evacuation drills and safety drills at regular intervals for fire safety, and how to provide medical assistance in kinds of sudden unexpected illness to a person, and all those things happen routinely in all corporates. And certain things I like to add up, because nowadays the awareness is becoming much less. You can also have additional safety measures. There is no wrong on having additional safety measures, and always the emergency exit path is different from the normal route, and no one is supposed to use elevator, that is the lift which they normally call the machine, the room kind of machine which takes us down electronically, because electric power failure is always a side effect with any natural disaster. It could be tsunami, it could be earthquake, it could be a flood, sudden flood, or it could be a fire accident. Power failure will be there. And another one main disaster is the smokes will spread and avoid the light. You must have emergency light which will function with the storage battery power backup. Even if the power fails, that light will be glowing, but still the light you won't be able to see the light because of the smoke cover. So you should have illuminated exit marking and floor marking. The floor marking should be not only on the floor, it should show the doors, and also on the pathway sign should be there, and stairways should be marked with this glowing tapes, which is very important. But most of the corporates I didn't found that. Maybe they would have restrictions like very high, very tall building only should have that. Not essential. Even if you have few story buildings also, you can have this, because life is more precious, right? Because earlier there were some accidents in tuition centers and in one bank. A bank was operating. That bank is a very reputed bank. I don't want to say the name of that bank and create a bad impression on that, but that bank was functioning on the fourth floor, only 4 floors, fourth floor of a multi-story building, and the fifth is an open terrace. There was a fire accident on the first floor. So what the employees did was, they don't have the knowledge that fire goes up. On a reputed bank, it's a private bank, the employees don't know that fire goes up, smoke goes up. They also went up to the open terrace, and they were unable to bear the heating of the floor. They fall on the floor, they crawl down, and they died. That kind of incident happened on a reputed bank. And another one thing is a tuition center which happened few months ago. There was a fire accident and the students were on the top. Being a student, they got a lot of balloons, they jumped out, broke their hands, some fatalities were there. Why all those things are happening is there is no emergency pathway, there is no emergency staircases, which is different from the regular route, which will save from fire by all means, and there is no proper exit marking. So as I know, even a lot of angel investors are there in my LinkedIn contact. You can take up an initiative and spend more to save lives. And what are the companies you invest, you can have an additional fund for this safety measure, so that this because of this fund, a kind of an accident like this won't happen in the near future. I don't always talk about government's responsibility, because that's something, it's a different area, I don't want to touch it. But senior bureaucrats are there in my few senior bureaucrats are also there in my LinkedIn. If you come across this, you can also try to implement some rules in the law. Or if some politician watches this, as YouTube everyone watches, you can find out some ways and implement some laws with your legislative power, so that people's life will be safe. And also road accidents, it's your responsibility mostly. You should maintain your vehicle properly, follow the road rules, wear seatbelt, wear helmet, and so on. And another one thing is when what to do in case of a fire accident. Smoke will be covering the top layer, so it's hard to stand up and watch. All of you have a kerchief with you. Tie your kerchief around your face with your nose, and then you should, if you have water bottle, use the water wisely. Don't pour it on the floor. Somebody will slip and fall, and it may cause injury. You make wet your kerchief and tie it around your face, so that smoke won't affect you and you won't get cough. And crawl on the floor. Don't stand up and walk if the smoke is covered. And also don't run during an emergency. If you run, people make stumble with each other, and because of stumbling more death occurs, than the actual cause of the fire. Lack of knowledge and lack of emergency awareness is being the main reason for more deaths during an emergency than the actual cause or the disaster. So that's something which I like to convey to you. Also, plan your place accordingly. Don't go and create a multinational company on a low-lying area or on a earthquake-prone zone or on a place where there is a frequent chance for a tsunami and there is no tsunami alarm installation system. Don't go and keep it there, because for multinationals, when you go for your new locations, please plan accordingly. And apart from that, even when you go to your house, because suddenly if a flood comes for 2 or 3 floors, if you are on a low-lying area and if you don't survey, what's the use of being on a low-priced home? Your life is precious. You have to plan accordingly. And apart from that, you will be having a emergency rescue team and you will be having your own supervisor. Every employee in your organization should know who is his emergency rescue team member for his floor, supervisor and reporting people. And also the emergency response team will have a emergency jackets worn once there is an emergency. They know they will be having the emergency jacket readily placed with them, so they will take it and wear it. So after you evacuate safe through the exit path, and there are a lot of emergency devices, you have to go through the YouTube videos. Whoever watches my video should search for emergency access plan for tall rise building, for small offices, for congested area, like that. Use different search keywords and watch all the videos, so that you will have more clear idea. I cannot cover everything on this video, but I will be coming up with more videos on this topic with the title like safety measures. And so once you go through this exit way and assemble on the predetermined evacuation zone, safe exit zone, safe assembling area, report to your supervisor or your ARP team. If your name is missing on the list who are safely evacuated, there will be firefighters and there will be emergency team members who would be risking their life to save your life. They will be entered, after coming out, they will be entering into the risky zone for saving you. I was a member on emergency rescue team in one of my previous corporates, and at that time I was given a separate task. I was not asked to go into the floor when there is an emergency, because my physical appearance is not strong enough to carry a person or something, but still I know how to carry a person. There are a lot of simple methods and techniques. Look at that as well. We are also trained on that, but we are not the one who will be going up front at the first time. If there is a shortage of people, yes, we will also be ready to go in to save others' life, as we are trained for saving lives. But still, this shouldn't happen unwantedly. So inform your supervisor. Don't immediately run away to the home. That is another one responsibility. And apart from that, there are for tall rise building, now they have some safe exit pipes kind of thing, which is I don't remember the exact name. So I found that to be shuttle, safe emergency shuttle or something. It's a kind of an projection tube kind of thing, which is looking like a fireman's pipe or hose is there, right? Like that it was there, and they say that that's very safe. So if people could install on that, please install. If some investors, franchise owners, if you found that you could find some product like that and promote those at a construction price, and if any government official can bring in any kind of special rewards for that, corporates will be interested on implementing all those. And so once those kinds of things are involved and people start placing that kind of safety measures, there will be a more safe environment for working. And also the safe environment, this corporate people, we are all educated, we are all above a level to educate others. It's our responsibility. So as government says, if a company makes profit, 2% it should spend for its corporate social responsibility, and for listed companies I think it's 5%. So with that fund you could do a lot of wonder. You have a volunteering team of employees who are ready to do that for you. So with that force, you have to plan the holidays fruitfully, or you can give work holidays. You can have a list of special, they call it as on duty, right? But the person can go out for a volunteer service. Like that, you have to plan some days and where they go and educate the local people, and they create an awareness and safeguard the society. So mainly, again, coming to back to the point, borewell holes, close it safe. Not only borewell holes, even on roads, there is no side marking on many of the roads. Corporates can sponsor contacting the government officials to also barricades on bridges. There are bridges over, even I saw one when I was moving from Chennai, Tambaram to Vandalur. Above railway track there is a overbridge. There's no side barricade, and that's a place where there will be huge traffic congestion during evening times, and even sometime on afternoon there will be huge traffic jam. If somebody slips and falls, they will fall on the track and die. The government has no money, but corporates can come up with plans where they can donate barricades. You have to insist the government officials. This is something which I found so problematic, because they will be much interested on placing some barricades on the place where the politicians and senior officials come, so that they can get their promotions. That's the kind of world we are. So we have to be very particular about every life is precious. I get to say a particular zone, and media should play a vital role. They should broadcast all these kind of places, create a special program for that, and they should show that this is a kind of a lifestyle people have on roads. They don't have proper side barriers. People may fall. There may be life losses because of this. After life is gone, after someone is on a serious trouble, broadcasting that and having a lot of views is not a big matter. So precaution is much important. Safety is everyone's responsibility. We cannot just think that government will do. We should step up forward to safeguard the lives. And that's all I thought of conveying with you. And also expecting your participants and your decision making. Comment below if you have any more suggestions, if you know about any fire safety product or anything, any activity which people has to do, which I forgot, on the comment box below. Also, people who you watch my video, just scroll down and look at the comment box. If you can give any more comments which will add value, or if you can find any comments which is adding value, give a thumbs up, and so that they will comment more, and like that knowledge sharing will happen. That's why the comment box is there below on every YouTube video. Not only the speaker's knowledge, everyone's knowledge is important. That's why it's required. And another one thing is, like, there is a process of burning agriculture crops, which has created a huge pollution in Delhi. First they said it's because of motor vehicle. Delhi is much polluted because of industries. Finally it is proved that the neighboring states Haryana and Punjab has burned the agriculture wets. That's wheat and paddy plants. After taking the seeds, they have burnt it. That has accounted for 46% hike in the pollution zone in Delhi. So the government is now working on that. The main reason is farmers don't have a knowledge about that. And another one thing is, there should be alternative recycling method. I have seen in some YouTube videos that they can do lot of artificial wood with this kind of straws, or they can use it as a fertilizer. This shows clearly that there is no lack of knowledge, and this, I think, this could be used in for feeding the cattle. I see cows roaming on road, goats roaming on roads without people to give it straw, whereas the same straw is burnt without having a proper supply chain network. Some social organization, volunteer service people can work on that as well to avoid and reduce pollution. That also I thought of conveying. I will make separate videos on this, but because the second incident of a child falling on borewell happened, I thought I have to speak something soon and create an awareness in the society. That's why I am releasing this video immediately. So I will be uploading it, and simultaneously I will be posting it on my LinkedIn accounts. So whoever views that, share it with your friends in other LinkedIn account, because you are all high profile people, you have high profile contact. When high profile people takes a decision and implements it to their corporate social responsibility team or to their social welfare activistic team, there will be a great kind of social impact on that. For a government to do an activity, they should wait, they should pass a bill, they should get 101 permissions. After that only they can do an act. But private companies can do it, and social activities can do it just by getting an approval letter from the collectorate or someone, which they mostly voluntarily give it for social welfare activity group when they are beneficial and when they are lawful. You should not go and protest for that. Right? Okay, anyhow, and it's time to end up. So share, comment, and speak about this to more people. Speak whenever you get a chance. Talk about emergency, talk about exit plans, talk about first aid, talk about safety, talk about vaccination, talk about these kind of topics when you are in your office break times, when you are with your families, when you are with your friends. That will create a great impact. And also do that on social media. Comment about vaccinations schedules in my comment box, and much more. So when you do those kinds of activity, also you can speak on a video and upload it on YouTube and share it with your friends on social media. So we are so wish you all a safe life, and also hoping you to be more interactive on these topics, so that awareness spreads and people will safeguard themselves and also others. That's the kind of an impact I want to get through this video. And thank you very much for watching, and it's Joel signing off from you. Bye.